Have you ever found yourself buying something simply because of the name on the label? Maybe you grabbed that new sneaker release without even checking if it's truly better than last year's model. Or you upgraded your phone just because a particular brand dropped the latest version without really questioning whether it's actually an improvement. If that sounds familiar, don't worry, you're not alone. There's a psychological bias at work here, one that's quietly guiding our spending habits without us even realizing it. In fact, research shows that people are willing to pay up to 20% more for a product just because of a trusted brand name, even if the product itself hasn't changed. In this video, I'm going to expose how a single product, endorsement, or success can cast a halo over an entire brand, prompting us to pay premium prices without questioning the actual value. By the end, you'll know how to spot this bias and, more importantly, how to keep your wallet safe from hype-driven purchases. But to really understand just how powerful this effect can be, let's look at one of the biggest names in sportswear, Nike. Nike's rise to dominance is a textbook case of this phenomenon. To understand how, let's travel back to the 1980s, a time when Nike wasn't the dominant sneaker giant it is today. Back then, Adidas, Reebok, and Converse ruled the sneaker world while Nike was still trying to break through. Then everything changed. Michael Jordan laced up in Air Jordans. Suddenly, Nike sales exploded. The swoosh was everywhere on basketball courts and music videos on the streets. But here's the question. How does one superstar athlete wearing one sneaker transform the destiny of an entire company? This is the halo effect in action. When people saw Michael Jordan dominating on the court in those iconic sneakers, they weren't just seeing shoes, they were seeing greatness. His talent and success became linked to the Nike brand itself. Over time, that glow spread beyond basketball shoes. Nike didn't just sell sneakers anymore, they sold an identity. Whether it was running shoes, streetwear, or gym gear, the brand became synonymous with elite performance and style. People weren't just buying products, they were buying into an image. And here's the kicker. This wasn't just about admiration, it was about pricing power. Once Nike had that status, they could charge more. The same sneakers that once had to compete on price now had people camping outside stores willing to pay hundreds just to get their hands on them. Nike's story highlights what happens when one success lights up an entire brand. So let's break down the psychology behind it. What exactly is going on here? In simple terms, the halo effect is a cognitive bias where our positive impression of one aspect of a person, product, or company influences how we see everything else about them. For example, if you love a brand's running shoes, you might automatically assume their clothing, accessories, or even completely unrelated products are just as good, without doing much research. And when that assumption is in place, brands can justify higher prices because consumers trust the name rather than the actual value. We see this all the time. A brand nails one product and suddenly everything they release carries that same aura of excellence and the price tags that come with it. Still not convinced this bias can make us pay more across different industries? Let's see how it plays out in our everyday coffee runs. Starbucks has built its entire empire on the idea of a premium coffee experience. But let's be honest, are they really making the best coffee in the world? There are plenty of smaller cafes that serve coffee just as good, if not better, than Starbucks. And yet, millions of people willingly pay $6 or more for a latte. Why? It's the halo effect in action. Because Starbucks positions itself as premium, everything on the menu automatically inherits that same status. The seasonal drinks, the sandwiches, even the bottled frappuccinos you find in grocery stores, all of it feels better because of the brand name, and that lets Starbucks charge premium prices, even when the quality isn't significantly different from cheaper alternatives. So we've seen how the halo effect can boost everything from sneakers to lattes, but it doesn't stop there. Let's shift gears and talk about cars. When Tesla first entered the auto industry, they stunned the world with high-performing, all-electric cars that felt like something straight out of the future. That early success became the foundation of Tesla's entire brand image. Now, whenever Tesla teases a new product, solar panels, the Cybertruck, even AI-driven robots, people automatically assume it's going to be groundbreaking. And yet, Tesla isn't immune to delays, issues, or even overpromising. The Cybertruck, for example, launched with enormous fanfare. Thousands rushed to pre-order it purely based on the brand's reputation. But then, delays, design revisions, a final version that was heavier and more expensive than expected, and let's not forget that infamous moment when Tesla claimed the Cybertruck had bulletproof windows, only for those very windows to shatter during a live demo. But despite these hiccups, the Tesla halo remained strong. Why? Because their early electric car success still casts a glow over everything they release. Even when things don't live up to the hype, The brand's reputation is so powerful that people keep believing and spending. From sneakers to coffee to cutting-edge cars, the halo effect is everywhere. But here's the good news. You can protect yourself from falling victim to it. Brands will always try to capitalize on their reputation, but you don't have to fall for it. Here's how to shop smarter. Don't assume brand equal quality. Just because a company nailed one product doesn't mean everything they sell is worth the premium price. Look past the logo, compare specs, features, and actual performance. Do some research before you buy. Check independent opinions. Influencers and official brand messages can be biased. Read or watch reviews from regular people who have actually used the product. Ask yourself, am I paying for the brand or for the actual product value? If it's mostly marketing magic, reconsider. The halo effect is incredibly powerful, and brands know it. They use a single success to build trust across their entire lineup, sometimes deservedly, sometimes not. But branding isn't always a sign of genuine quality. Before you make your next purchase, pause and ask, am I buying this because it's actually great or just because of the brand name? Because in the end, big brands will always sell you a dream. It's up to you to decide if it's really worth the price. If you found this helpful, please give it a like and share it with someone who might need to hear this. It really helps more people discover the channel and learn about the hidden forces shaping our buying decisions.